Hey guys, so the other week I did a video on my favorite deer team, the team that I use to kind of clear through the deer fast for me, and what I find kind of enjoyable and one of the least painful ways of doing the deer. You guys seem to love that video. I really appreciate all the support from that, so that was awesome. We had lots of great comments, interactions, and likes and all that good stuff. So if you feel like doing that again, please feel free. But otherwise, some of the comments that kind of came out of that video were like, okay, Dan, yeah, that's cool, but maybe what if I don't have, King, or what if I don't have, Freya, or I can't use this team, or they're not built, or whatever it is. So I wanted today to kind of go through just kind of some teams you can use, right? We're going to build a deer team together and kind of pull together some heroes and stuff and some elections that will either work well together or will kind of help you in the deer as well. So let's get stuck into it. So you come here, this is your select screen. I'm going to start off with a pretty obvious one, right, which is Jormungand. If you guys don't have her, or you haven't leveled her, I suppose two things, right? Like, if you don't have her, I probably would avoid doing the deer, completely honestly with you guys. It's just not going to be worth it. Her passive is specifically designed for the deer. If you can get a Holy Relic, it even makes the deer even easier. Like, she's just the unit for this battle, and is just going to make your life a heck of a lot easier, right? So, like, my number one support utility slot is going to be Yorm. It's never going to really change. I might do a couple of muck around videos, maybe with like an angel or a demon team for fun. But yeah, you pretty much always want to be using Yorm. If you really want an alternative to Yorm, you guys can maybe use Green Gotha. If you get his you want to make sure you get his passive going, or even Festival Gotha if you really want to. Green Arthur is not a bad choice, right? Brunhild is always really strong, so she'll do a lot of damage, and her ult will heal you guys as well. The thing with Yorm is she has a healing card or an attack healing card, and her passive just increases all stats, right? So it's just super strong. So look, maybe you can use one of these four here, or maybe even Liz with the heals and a remove buff card. But honestly, Yorm is the pick here, right? For a Link, she's the one I want to survive, so I will pretty much always put her with Tamil Link. There'll be an exception to that, which I'll get to, but pretty much 9 times out of 10 I run Yorm with a Tamil Link here, right? So that's our first slot. Right, that's our support utility slot ready to go. Next, we want to, let's look at strength, considering it's here, right? So again, if you guys don't know or you haven't checked out the other video, please go check it out. But basically, you run a color cycle, right, with the deer. You want at least 1 green, 1 red, 1 blue. That's what you need in order to basically do this boss correctly, or even get past, certain flaws. So let's check out a red unit. Now, in my other video, like I said, I do use Sun God Freya. There will be a theme here, guys, is that most of my choices, albeit a couple, and I'll explain why when I get to them, is you want a double attack card. Again, as I explained in my last video, because you have the color wheel, you have so much RNG with this boss anyway, and it can get incredibly frustrating when you don't get given a blue, green, or red card when you need it. So you really want to maximize your chance of actually getting that card, right? So say you're using, Derriere, and you get 2 blue Derriere cards. Like, that's not going to help you in the color wheel, right? So I really like using Freya. An alternate for Freya you can use is Skadi. Right, I do like using Skadi as well. Now, one of you guys mentioned that yes, she does decrease her max HP, and yep, that is definitely something you need to be aware of. But if your Skadi is built correctly and well enough, then you shouldn't really notice too much of a difference, hopefully. And it'll also decrease their attack and defense and increase all your damage every time she has a debuff as well. So if you're not being protected from those debuffs, you're not bringing a cleanse or something like that, that can be potentially helpful as well when you run Skadi. Now, I know I said I usually pick people with 2 attack cards, but another person that I did sometimes run was Diane. Now, the reason why I ran Diane is because I kind of wanted a taunt tank to protect the rest of my team when maybe my team weren't quite strong enough, or I didn't think they had the ability to tank certain hits by themselves. So I did often bring Diane. And then obviously if I did bring Deanne, I would put Tamio Link on Deanne, right, because of the taunt. For the longest time, I also ran Sariel. Alright, so Sariel being double attack is also really good, and if you have his Holy Relic. So when I think when you guys, a couple of months ago, they gave us a free Deer Relic, basically. This was before Yorm got her Holy Relic. I invested in Sariel's, so I took him to Bird, and he was quite effective. The one downside of Sariel is he only increases Goddess's stats, right, which is not ideal. That's why I like Freya as an alternative, because he boosts everyone's stats. So you can use Sariel, but yeah, I would, like I said, usually go Freya. You could run Sariel. You could run Tamio on the front line if you really want to. I'd recommend running him as part of an angel, a goddess team though. Skadi. These are all good picks. Pretty much anything that has a double attack that is well built. You could honestly even bring Rem if you've got a built Rem, right? She has 2 attack cards, which is helpful. She increases her attack every time you use a skill or she ranks up. Her Holy Relic is beneficial if you have, you know, unknown race on the field, so Yorm is good. So you could potentially even build an unknown team around her. But she's not bad as well if you have her built. Pretty much any hero that you have built, right, that has a double attack card that could potentially benefit herself or the team is going to be really strong here. Sariel just hits really hard as well. So does Freya with that cleave card. Right. So let's go Sariel for sake of argument, and then for the link, let's just, like I said, with your links you usually want to pick someone that is 6 out of 6. So I will do Derriere here because my Derriere is 6 out of 6, and it's also got some association. Cool, so we've got the green, we've got the red, we are on to blue. So as I mentioned in my video, and as you saw in the video, I run King. The main reason I run King is, again, double attack cards, but it's the shield. His shield is just super helpful, especially in combination with Yorm's Relic, because it ranks up, right? So then it gives you a stronger shield. You don't take damage, you don't get recovery disabled. It's very hard for the enemy to debuff you, or for the deer to debuff you. So I honestly just find him super easy to bring. Who I used before King was the One. Alright, the One just hit hard. Again, double attack card, decent ultimate, especially if you've got him 6 out of 6. My Escanor is pretty pathetic at 1 out of 6, but still a strong choice here as well, right? Alternatively, if you guys do have Milim, as again mentioned, shout out to my comments, you guys did mention that Milim's a great choice as well. She can hit really hard, is a good buffer as well to your team, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, she is unknown as well, which means you compare her well with Rem in red. Alright, then you've got 3 unknowns, increasing the Holy Relic. Yeah, I mean, you could use Brawler Barn, I guess. I wouldn't really recommend it unless you can make the most of his passive, right, which is pretty hard to do. Margaret is not bad for buffing the team, but again, only 1 attack card, right? You could use Estarossa in terms of a demon team. If you want to build a demon team around him, you can. But pretty much, I would recommend the One. Like I said, I really like using King, and then you could also use someone like Milim as well. I mean, yeah, you could... Yeah, anyone that pretty much has a double attack card, right? I mean, you could even potentially rock Merlin. Again, this will help Rem's Holy Relic, and it has a double attack card as well. Her passive won't work though, which is again not ideal, right? You want to make sure you're using a hero that can get the most out of their unit, whether it be the passive, whether it be the unique, whether it be the, you know, the attack cards, whatever it is. You want to make sure you're getting the most out of it. So let's go with the One, and I'm going to give him the crit chance link as well. And that's honestly, that's our 3, right? Like, this is our color wheel sorted. So your final selection can kind of be a wild card, so to speak, right? So as you guys know, I bring the One Escanor, light type, right? Just dishes out a heck of a lot of damage, really helps. You can bring Melee as well if you want to. His passive really helps if you stack up single targets. So he can basically reduce the damage that you take. Again, there is a caveat to some of these, like if you bring Melee, if you bring Escanor, if you bring maybe Goddess Liz, right, maybe you build a full Goddess team. Right, let's go here, and then you can go, you know, Margaret, or even Blue Tami, or wherever he's gone, right? You can do that. As long as, the thing is, as I said, it can be a little bit RNG based, just because the light cards and the dark cards can potentially clog up your hand a little bit. So just make sure you have the cards you need to before you go into the color cycle phase. Alternatively, this is where you can bring like a taunt unit, like maybe you want to bring Deanne, right? And then you can have her taunt, give her Tamil Link, and then make your whole team a lot more tanky. Maybe you want to bring a healing and a cleanse. If you've got Yorm, you don't really need to, right? This is a great opportunity to bring someone like, where is she? Brunhild. Brunhild hits hard, especially if she's got her Holy Relic. Again, her ultimate will heal the team as well, so you can use that as a great alternative. I've done it before, and I've had double of the same color with double attack cards, and it works well. Like I said, it's because it's such an RNG heavy boss. I get concerned, and you have runs where you clog up your hand completely with green cards, and it completely stuffs you. But then again, that same thing could be said as if you're running Deanne, right? Or maybe you're running, where is she? Matrona, right? As another taunt unit. Maybe you're running Green Arthur, right? For his passive. So basically, as long as you fulfill this color wheel that you've got going on, so you've got blue, you've got red, you've got green, and then you can have a final slot for, a wild card, right? Whether it be Trader Melee, whether it be Escanor just for pure damage, whether you run a taunt to make your whole team a little bit more survivable. Maybe you run, maybe this is where you again put King in, right? And then you also have the 1, because then you've got the shield and you've got the damage from the 1. The reason, again, why I run Ultimate Escanor is he's just really helpful at the final stage of the final fight. The deer is so annoying and the color cycle sucks, but I think the thing that annoys me the most is no matter what, if you drop him below 20% on the final fight, he full heals, increases all his stats, and then he pretty much starts us up immediately. So my goal is to get to that final fight and then just make that as easy as possible for myself. So that's why I will run Yorm, and then I will run King, because King's Shield can also stop you from getting like your ult gauge taken off. It can stop recovery, disables, all that kind of stuff, right? And then I will throw on the 1, get myself a gold finger, and then even if I don't kill him in the 1 hit, I can then get the extra scorch damage, which will kill him off before his full heal kicks in. So again, like I said, that's my favorite team, but you can chop and change and move, right? So let's go. You've got Sariel here. Say you don't have a built Sariel and you don't want to use Sariel. Where's Skadi? Find her, there she is, blind. Cool, so you got Skadi, right? And then say in the blue slot, if you want to use Millum, I don't have Millum, but let's say you use the 1 Escanor, right? Here you want green, you want Yorm, and then finally say you're like, you know what, I'm not 100% happy with all this, I want to be able to buff my team as well. So you put Margaret in. So as long as you have the 3 colors sorted, use your best built heroes. But like I said, for me, the combination that just works super well is King, right? Yorm with Tamil Link. I run Sariel Link on King, so he does max damage. On Escanor, I will run Merlin for the crit chance, right? And then my final hero is, where is he? Freya for the double crit, right? So the reason why I run this team is, let's just give him, nope, that one. Alright, so the reason why I run something like this team is, again, King gives me the shield, which is the really good utility, so it protects my team against debuffs, and it ranks up. When they rank up, it becomes really helpful with Yorm. Yorm obviously is built for the deer, so you want her. Freya's passive not only works on himself, but also boosts the entire team's stats, and has a double attack card, and then Escanor for the final finishing fight. But, my team before all of this was very different. So before I had these heroes built, I would use Yorm. My other person that I would use is, where is he? Sariel. I would then also potentially use, where's Brunhild? Brunhild, right? Or Arthur. So Brunhild for the damage and the heal. And then finally I would use Escanor, right? So this was actually my original team back in the day, and this is how I would run all my setups, just because this is what I needed, right? This gave me my my red, my green, my blue. It also then gave me my green here. I don't think I've got all the equipment on I need to. Yeah, so my other Escanor's got the UR gear, so that's why the CC is quite low. But you know, this is the team that I would run, and this was how I would build it. And then I'd have the heal from Brunhild, I'd have the heal from Yorm, I'd have the damage from Sariel, I'd have the damage from Escanor. Sometimes, you know, I'd switch him out, and I'd switch her out, and I'd run Trader Melly, right? So you can chop and change and play with it and see which is the best team for you guys. But just as long as you make sure you have your green, your red, your blue, and then you've got a wild card, depending. Like I said, if you've got, maybe you're using Deanne to tank damage, maybe bring another red card, right? Another red hero, just in case, right? Repeating myself now, hopefully you guys get the gist, and I hope this helps. Any questions or any other teams that you guys have seen, you know, drop it in the comments below. It'd be great to check them out. I'd love to see them. But I'll catch you in the next one.